Or do you want
Okay.
me to?
This is great.
Okay.
Ciao, 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 everyone. Welcome, welcome. It is Julie. It is halfway through May 2020.
Can't believe
Wonderful.
it. I
I'm
can't
so,
believe it. I'm just glad the world is opening back up.
it's been about a year since you and I did our last live together.
Yes.
And, what a tumultuous time we just went through. What a different energy from, I think, almost a year ago to the day, honestly.
Yeah,
And
it
so
may
many
have been a
things.
little bit longer, and it feels like we were in a time warp, this whole pandemic. I know there's a lot of silver linings. There's a lot of good things that happened. People invested in their marketing and their business. They had more family time, cooking, but it was a really, tough year for a lot of people. So I'm so happy people are getting busy again.
Yeah, and I'm excited to have you here. So I'm going to introduce you officially. You guys, this is Julie Roth Novak, and she is CEO and founder of Party Slate. If you haven't seen her website, you definitely want to participate in it, only if you are a wedding and event professional who's serious about scaling their business, right? And
Thank
seeing the marketing out there. Go to partyslate.com. Tell us a little bit, Julie, how you got into it. We met a few years back, just being in the event circuit and conferences together. But tell everyone a little history and how you got started.
Yeah, I started Party Slate about 6 years ago. I was a digital marketing geek. I led a big digital agency called Razorfish, and events were always an important part of my growth strategy, whether it's client entertaining or sales incentive trips, or, I was very involved with a couple of local fundraisers. And I was always looking for new ways to get inspired and new venues and new event professionals. And all I could find were kind of the wedding blog type websites. And again, there's a lot of beautiful wedding blogs out there, but I was looking for more of an inspirational source. And so I redesigned my kitchen using Houzz, Houzz. You might ask, why is that relevant? When I redesigned my kitchen, I used this website and I'm like, oh my God, lightning struck. This is amazing. I want something like this for the events industry. So what I really set out to build after 3 years of kind of stressing, should I quit my job? Should I do this? 3 years later, I quit to really create a platform where people could get inspired for not just weddings, but corporate mitzvah, gala, fundraisers, and find the best local venues and event professionals, but also create a digital marketing platform for the event professional community for people that are really busy, that don't have time to think about SEO and so many other things. And so we look at your Party Slate profile as it fits between your Instagram and your website. Those are all important things, and I'm going to talk about those today. But it's a place where you can share all your professional photos and videos, and it's a great sales tool. And we don't want to think of it like a Yelp directory page. Not that I don't like Yelp for restaurants. It's really a beautiful portfolio sharing platform that also connects you with people that are actively planning large scale events.
Yeah, and one of the reasons I asked you to join today is, a few reasons. Number one is, with my coaching, I coach wedding and event professionals how to scale their business, how to uncover additional 5 figures per month. And obviously the biggest way to do that is to market yourself and to cast the net out there, obviously to your perfect clients instead of just, free throwing it out there, which is something that I really enjoy about Party Slate as a consumer, meaning the end result. It is such a very well thought out platform that will get that visibility. And also the other thing I coach about is, you know what, who are we kidding? We're busy. We're
Yeah.
crazy busy. We are crazy industry of creatives. The last thing we want to do is be in front of a computer dealing with our marketing day in, day out, dealing with social media day in, day out. So the more we can automate and personalize, the better our presentation, like you said, will be. So it is a very good platform to present who you are, what you do, and who you serve.
Yes.
So
And
I really,
one of our biggest differentiators, let's say you post a real event on your Party Slate profile and you credit the venue, the photographer, the caterer, your work then shows up on their profile page, and also you're listed as a resource. So for example, the Four Seasons I think there's a Four Seasons Santa Barbara, because I remember a friend got married there. No? Okay. There was, let's say, a montage.
yeah, it's a sensitive.
Hotels. the big hotels in Santa Barbara, you want to be listed on their profile page as a planner or a photographer that has worked at that venue. We've done a lot of research that shows party hosts, engaged couples, they like to know you know their venue, whether it's right or wrong. You photographer, I can shoot anywhere. Of course you can shoot anywhere, but from the consumer perspective, there is some kind of security knowing like, oh, you know this venue, you know the people, and it's a positive thing in their mind.
100%, because that is also half the other battle. Again, something that I coach on is, we have this amazing opportunity of networks within our network, right? We deal with vendors that are a good fit for our clients. And couples, especially couples more so, want to know, oh, they'd work together. It's kind of like a referral system just by listing each other as a community within our community. So I think that's very, very powerful as well.
And it happens in the real world. So this isn't some new concept that we've come up with. We're just expanding that to the digital space and reinforcing those incredible relationships that you've built over the 10, 15, 20 years you've been working together.
Yeah, 100%. So I love it. So yeah, let's move on with, today we're going to talk about 5 ways to optimize your digital footprint to build your network, because it is about digital. One thing is a lot of people, there's been so much more digital noise in the last year because everyone has been working from home. So engaged couples have been working from home. They have more time to look at social media platforms, digital platforms.
Stalking time. I call it stalking time. Yeah.
That's increased so much. I just know through my blog, the visibility has skyrocketed in the last year. And there's been wedding and event business owners who have also cleaned up their act, so to speak, on the digital marketing factor because we've not had the event. So this is really the time to do it before we start getting busy. People are busy right now with everything opening up. But if your digital presentation isn't clean, you're in for so much more competition than ever before.
I really believe that if the event professionals that don't invest in this, and there's so many that are doing such a great job already. So I feel like, there's so many people are so great at Instagram. All I encourage you to do is look at your full footprint. And that includes your website, how people find you on Google, third-party platforms like Party Slate, even you should look at Yelp. How do you look on Yelp? And I'm not saying you need to advertise there, but you need to know how people are viewing you when they search for your name. And then also, social media, again, it's not just Instagram and it's not just Pinterest. I really think, if they search your name, they're going to find you on LinkedIn. So I give a little LinkedIn hard love that your profile needs to be up to date. And again, platforms like Party Slate, like your website, they're going to be high for certain keywords that people are searching for. And so you need to have an overall strong presence. You can't do everything. I don't want to overwhelm people today, but I do want to tell people that they need to at least evaluate, what does it look like today, or how does it feel today? And what are maybe one thing a quarter that I can improve over time, or, get help to do it as people have smaller staffs right now, to add a few $100s a month to have our white glove service, or to add a little bit on Instagram, or have a social media person. It's just something that you're going to have to do in order to compete. You have to have the talent. You got to have the great team. You got to have the relationships, but you also need to have a strong digital footprint.
Yep, 100%. And I'm in the midst. I started a 45-day challenge yesterday to help wedding and event professionals. So I thought this was a great kickoff. Yeah. Do you like how I use the footprint kickoff?
I like it. Love it. I'm proud of you. And I know, and I want to just give you a shout out that you have built such a good brand locally, but also on the national event professional circuit. I've seen you present. I've seen what you stand for. That's why I connected to you right away. I think we really think alike about these things. And so I just really appreciate you giving me this platform to share some of my advice.
Yeah, I think it's so important. The more we know, the better we all become. It's all about community.
This is so COVID, but I'm just going to shut my door for my dog. 1 second. I'll be right back. This is very a COVID moment here. Not that I have COVID. So my dog likes to scratch on the door. So the first part of the footprint, and we'll move through this pretty quickly, and please, ask question, is your website. So very likely when they search on Google, your website will hopefully be first unless something is going wrong. Just so you know, just because it's first doesn't mean that the link 3, 4, 5, and 6, don't matter. It's very important that you look at, how do people view you in the website? Just 5 simple things that I look at is, do you have a strong handshake? Are you sharing your story, your why? What are you all about on your homepage? Do you have simple navigation? My navigation on the right, unless you're a venue, there's some other areas, but about, a team, services, gallery, press, praise, contact. You do not need to get fancy with your navigation. I wouldn't put promotions in your navigation. You do not need a home button. Home is your logo. Don't waste the space with your home button. Easy way to view your photos and videos. Many people will put 5 or 6 real events and then link to their Party Slate profile because it's much easier to update. But people have an insatiable appetite for photos. So just know that's it must be a direct link. It could be called gallery, it could be called portfolio, whatever you want it to call, or even just photos. I encourage you to have videos too. So that's why I like portfolio a little bit better, or gallery. Introduce the team, or if you're a company of one, do not underestimate that about section. People want to know your founding story. I talk about House and my digital agency background and how I got into this crazy events world. People want to know where you came from and how you got there. Don't just put your bio. Don't just put like this is what I do. I have this. I've done it for 20 years. Make it really personal, like a personal, authentic story. And then finally, position yourself as an authority. My favorite thing to say is, make news of news. So for example, I can screenshot this conversation and put on Facebook or Instagram, honored that, I was, featured on this, amazing webinar and blah, 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 blah. Like, this is a news. You can make news of news. So you get a little speaking engagement. You're on the WIPA board, whatever it is. Position yourself as an authority. And it doesn't matter even if it's a local blog versus Vogue or versus Party Slate. You should make news of news, and you can even make a blog entry each time you're mentioned in an article. You write a couple paragraphs and then you link to the article. It's just showing you're an authority in the industry.
Yep, 100%. Love all
anything
of this.
You want to add on the website front? Because I know we're aligned on this.
Yeah, well, a couple points is, absolutely. Number one is your superpower. Don't just, and I see this all the time in people's bios and their about page. I could, especially because we showcase other vendors. I could read one and it reads just like the next one, just like the next one. This is your opportunity to set yourself apart. So what is your superpower? What is that skill set? And then sharing your story. We're not here to just regurgitate information. I don't need to tell you this is a pink bouquet with, that they can see that. But what is the reason for the flowers, or are they seasonal? Or just share the story about yourself, about your whole business, and then also about every single event you do.
Yeah, I just hosted my twin girls' bat mitzvah last weekend. We just had 50 people in the backyard. I had a beautiful balloon installation, and you could just look at it as a beautiful balloon installation, or you could talk about how one of my daughters wanted gold and one wanted pink, and how we fused it together. Again, it's the story of the design. It's the story of how you got your founding, your origin story. That's what people connect with. Not that you're a leading planner in Santa Barbara. It's that, how you fell into this industry. I was a lawyer before. Everyone's got their story. Not me. I'm making that up. I was a business nerd. And then I talked to these planners in Miami that moved from England, and they're like, oh, we want to really fit into the Miami vibe and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, embrace that you're European planners coming over to bring the European flair to Miami. Like, embrace your background, embrace who you are and what you bring to the table and your why. And so I think that's really important. So I will move on to the next one. My other favorite topic is search engine optimization. And so you must know how you're ranking in the search engines. And don't worry that there's 900 factors that Google uses to figure this out. The main 3 areas that you should think about are content SEO, which is what are you writing about? What's the content you want to be known for? Backlinks. So how do you get links from third parties that shows Google this is important information? And then technical SEO, which again is something that you might need to hire, or a couple hours of a developer, or just go to Page Speed Insights to learn more about how your site is loading and your performance on mobile, things like that. But if you think about one thing, it's really about what are your keywords. So if you're a bat mitzvah DJ in Chicago, or a bat mitzvah DJ, what are the 40 combinations of words, not just DJ, but specific, that you could rank for. And so I always say, like, wedding planner is hard to rank for, but maybe San Diego Vineyard Wedding Planner is something more long tail that you could rank for. So you can use things like Keyword Finder, Uber Suggest, free tools to actually like start plugging in a few numbers and see what the monthly search is. It could have 100 searches to 10,000 searches. You don't want a million searches a month, because that's going to be very hard for you to rank for. Party Slate could maybe rank for those words, or other, Vogue, but it's going to be very hard for an individual business too. So it's really all about those long tail, high intent keywords. And so I have a template that I'm happy to share. It's very, very simple on thinking about what are those 50 keywords, and just like knocking out some blog entries about it, and thinking about, how could I create some content on social that links back to this article about 2 or 3 topics that will help you rank. And again, if you don't have time for this, again, Party Slate profile is going to be optimized. You can get, number one, your keywords around your business name first, but you also, I really think it's important that you think about, how do I get some of those keywords ranking for my business? So again, that's a very simple concept, but people think SEO is like so complicated. It's honestly just good marketing. That's really what it is. And so what are your 20 to 50 keywords around your business, and how are you going to create content around that? So on Party Slate, when you add an album, that can help you with SEO. But instead of doing Amanda and Chip's wedding, what if it was a fall infused, I'm bad at these words, but vineyard wedding? So whatever it is, use descriptive words, seasonality, specific venues, themes, colors. Those are what people are searching for, not Amanda and Chip's wedding, if that makes sense.
I see this so often, again, because we both do wedding blogs. Yeah, I see this so often, and I'm like, nobody cares who Amanda and Chip are. Like, give those.
If you want to use their name, by all means, use their name, but don't call that the title. Like, call it like a very descriptive title. And then you say, Amanda and Chip wanted X, Y, Z, and blah, blah. You can still use their names, because I know sometimes clients like to be written about. It's like they want their wedding published, but the headline should be packed with keywords. Keywords.
And real quick, just insider tip, those keywords, it seems so overwhelming, but it does so much work for you. It's literally creating chapters of blog posts you can write about, or
and you can link between them too. That helps the Google see, oh wow, there's 3 articles about ceiling decor. And again, those are just ways to think about your content. And again, if this isn't, you don't have time for this, you can think about simple ways to just get your own name working harder for you, and maybe like 2 or 3 keywords. I don't want to overwhelm people that could be SEO experts. It's honestly just good content marketing. That's all it is. Good content.
They become great titles. It becomes great topics.
And it's good for social media too, if you have a great title. So, we talk about adding event descriptions on Party Slate. So you add your event, your photos. The first sentence, talk about the scene, the event type, the location, talk about the decor, talk about the experience. And I know some people don't have these event descriptions written. That's okay. You can add them over time, but if you just put the photos with no description, there's two things you're losing out on. One is the storytelling. Like I talked about the balloons. One girl wanted this, one girl wanted, whatever it is. And then it's also the SEO optimization of those keywords. And so pink peonies, people are searching for that. Again, it's hard to beat a Party Slate, a Pinterest, and other things like that. But what if it's a long tail? Pink peony is vineyard wedding. I don't know. Like, you can think of those words and look at the volume. If the volume is 1 a month, that's not a good keyword. That 1 a month is enough. But if it's 500 a month, you could win on that keyword. If it's only 500 a month, that means 500 people literally typing in that into Google.
Yeah.
So I have a little action plan. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but 3 things you can do for SEO. Get your long tail keywords together. I have a great template. I'm just Julie@partyslate.com if anyone wants that template, or I can send it to you and you could share that with your team. You want to be measuring your progress with SEO, whether it's search, Google Analytics, just looking at your organic traffic. And then backlink strategy, like if you work with a lot of venues in Santa Barbara, why not say, hey, I'll write a testimonial how much I love your venue, link back to my website. That's like an easy way to get backlinks. Who doesn't want a testimonial from an amazing planner or photographer? Think of ways you can get published in local blogs, your Party Slate profile, anything to get those backlinks. And then on the technical SEO front, just go to Page Speed Insights. There's an amazing tool you can use to just put in your website address or URL and see what your score is on mobile and desktop. If it's below 50, you might want to get some help in that area. That is an area where I don't know how to look into the code. I don't know how to look at these things. But if you're using Squarespace or WordPress or templates, it should be pretty good because that's built into it.
Right. Yeah. Reverse engineering is so important. Like, bring the data, not the drama. And it's available for us. You have to spend a little bit of time. But once you get this and you can apply it, I love your template of the ABC, first line, second line, or first paragraph, second, third, because you can do it over and over, and people often get stuck trying to figure out what to do. You're literally laying it out for everyone. So this is so valuable.
Yeah, and I'm amazed that the people that actually produce these incredible events, they do get like writer's block. They can't write about it. So if you have this little template of like set up, whether it's a good story has a beginning, middle, and an end, it can be just 5 sentences. It doesn't have to be a lot. And if you're not a good writer, maybe someone on the team is a good writer. Maybe someone could just throw it together, or part of our white glove service is like send us bullet points and we'll get it written for you. But again, we're not in the best position to write it. You were there. We weren't there. It's much better if you guys think through your story. Every event has a story, and you just got to tell it in a way that's compelling and hopefully has those keywords in there, which is the venue name, the location, something that was magical about it. So the third part of your digital footprint is third-party platforms. And I know, some people have a love-hate relationship with third-party platforms. Like, oh, I got my website, I have Instagram, now I have to do LinkedIn, now I have to do Party Slate. You can't do all third-party platforms, but third-party platforms, they are a marketplace, and they're aggregating. We have 1 million photos now on Party Slate, and we're going to get a lot of SEO power. We're connecting supply and demand. We're an inspiration source. So third-party platforms are here to stay. You just have to prioritize where do you invest your time. And so you want to think, are you more mass market or are you luxury? I know we're going after the top 10% of the market, not just $1 million events, but like professionally planned events is what we're going after. Is it wedding only, or do you also do mitzvahs and corporate and fundraisers? Again, there's a lot of wedding only sites. We have decided that we don't want to be just weddings, because we know even wedding planners do 40th birthday parties, do baby showers. Like, we think that you can get inspired from any kind of event. And then you have to decide, do you want a free listing or do you want help? Do you want account management? I always say, start with a free listing on Parties. Like, try before you buy, get to know us a little. And then you can, if you want more, you can. And then also think about how much time does it take to manage? Are you looking for like leads only or brand building inspiration? And how will you measure success? So my suggestion is think of like 2 platforms that you want to invest a little time in, but just be aware that people will look at you on these other platforms, and at least make sure that you look presentable. And that's something I'll talk about. LinkedIn, you don't want to be like a LinkedIn loser where there's no photo. People are going to find you. You have to have a decent LinkedIn profile in this day and age, as an example.
Right.
Which is on to area number 4. And please stop me if you have any questions. But social media, this is a famous meme that kind of came, I guess it was a year ago or so. Like, how do you look on these different profiles, LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever? There are differences, but I think one important thing to think about is, Instagram, we love Instagram. We're obsessed with Instagram. But Facebook changed their algorithm 10 years ago, and all of a sudden businesses went under because they put all their eggs in one basket. So I think you just need to think about, what are the right channels? I personally think Instagram should be number 1. I think Pinterest is important. I think that there are people on Pinterest, you want to drive them back to your website. But I do think from a personal branding perspective, LinkedIn, they will find you on LinkedIn if they put your name in it. Google yourself and see where LinkedIn is. So that the simple suggestion on LinkedIn, 1 hour in your calendar, not more than 1 hour. I'm not telling you to like spend a year on this, 1 hour to make sure that, you have a professional photo, that you have your network there, that you're at least 500 contacts. And again, that can be over time. Try posting content once a week, once a month, just to kind of get a little bit more comfortable with LinkedIn. It isn't just, I'm telling you guys, it's not just for job searchers anymore. Like, people like us, normal people, we are on LinkedIn. We're not looking for jobs. We are connecting with our network. So one quick way to build your network on LinkedIn is to import your contact list, put your second degree connection. So like anyone you're connected to, I can see, do I know them? They're in Chicago, they're in the events industry, and you can quickly build up to 500 plus, which is what I really suggest. So I have a whole, 2 hours on LinkedIn that I can share, but just what I would say to anyone listening is just 1 hour, and make sure your profile looks good. Your about is compelling, your professional headline. That's all you need to do, so that when someone sees your profile, it's like, okay, great. That's who I'm meeting, this person. That's what they look like. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, don't undervalue LinkedIn. And we had LinkedIn is actually down the street from us here in Santa
Oh,
Barbara.
wow.
So yeah, know them. Lynda.com, they got bought by they were anyway.
Yeah.
And don't underestimate the value, because oftentimes the people on Instagram might be business owners, but the people you want to connect with, aka venues or CEOs or the companies, they're on LinkedIn. They're not the ones doing the social media. So it really is such a powerful tool, and especially if you're going after the corporate market.
I agree. And I think, corporate, they're not, again, it's not just job seekers. They're looking for news. They're looking for updates. And if you go to LinkedIn right now, you are going to see event content in your feed. You will see it. So I see a lot of caterers and others. I think LinkedIn is better for like trends, news. It's not inspo necessarily, like it's not Instagram, but can't hurt to do a 2-minute post once a week or once a month. So try it, but at a minimum, just put that hour in your calendar. Instagram, again, full day conversation we could have. All I'll say is don't underestimate conversation on Instagram. All the time, I see something I like and it's only authentic. I'm not like just, I'm saying it to say it. If you see something you like, comment and like, don't just like. If you see something you love and you're trying to build a relationship with someone, sharing onto your story a post that someone else created, and I do this all the time with our premium members, something that spoke to you that's so magical. Sharing is the highest form of relationship building on social media. So if you're one of those people that just like, and you think that's doing a lot for you, add another 3 seconds, not more than 3 seconds, to say, wow, stunning. Or again, if you're trying to get in with a new planner and you're a photographer, try sharing something they posted. That's what someone on Clubhouse calls it. Digital, what do they call it? Digital currency, social digital currency, something like that. It's like currency that you're building up. And so I always tell people, take those extra 2 seconds to say something, even if it's just wow. That's all you have to say. On Party Slate, when someone comments on our post, we always respond to it. Oh, thanks so much. We love this too, or whatever. Conversation is so important on social media. So that's, again, in addition to, Instagram, picking the right photo, the right post, crediting the right way. I think everyone knows that, but don't forget to credit in the post copy, but also in the photos. You want to make sure those are at both places. I have a geeky template that I can share with anyone who's interested on how to best track your credits and track, social media handles. It's very straightforward. I'm sure everyone's got their own way of doing it, but I like to tell people to copy and paste it the day before event, the week before an event, the day of the event, and the day after the event, when the photos come, because God forbid, if you miss a credit, we hear it from across the country. If the credit is missed, usually it's not even our fault. It's the credits were sent wrong to us, but make it so dummy proof that everyone's got the credits. And like some Instagram handles are not intuitive. So FS Vail, I know what it is, Four Seasons Vail, but sometimes it's not as intuitive as it should be. And so you want to make that really accessible. And then the last thing about Instagram is don't view it as just likes and on-site engagement. This is a way to get deeper engagement. We drive people from our Party Slate Instagram to Party Slate. We have an amazing link tree. We have direct messaging. You link to partners, register for a webinar, your website. When you launch a new album on your Party Slate profile, you can link to that. If you don't have 10,000 followers, which many people don't, you can do a link in bio, and you don't have to do the swipe up to drive engagement. And again, DMing. I had learned from some people that people are leaving audio messages on Instagram, which I thought was genius. I don't know why I've never done that, but it's pretty powerful. Like, I don't check LinkedIn messaging. Don't worry. It's spammy. Don't worry about it. But Instagram messaging is not spammy. It's people that know you typically.
Yeah, great way to grow the network. And I think too, something that you said is Instagram, again, we get blocked by what do we write? What do I post? That's oftentimes what I hear from wedding professionals, business owners. And it's like, you know what? Don't worry so much about that. Engage. If you don't know what to post, just spend 15 minutes and
Engage. Yeah.
comment on people's stuff. As specific as possible as you can get will get
Yeah.
you more noticed
Yeah.
than if you're posting something half-assed or just liking something. So
Exactly.
engagement.
And I have to remind myself, because sometimes I'm just like, wow. And that is very generic. And I try to do emojis after it, even though I'm not an emoji person. But I really try to point out what I'm wowed by. Like, my dream is to have a party just like that with those string lights. Again, when someone's worked for like 6 months on an event, and then all of a sudden it's torn down at the end, like, it's art. Comment on the art.
Yeah.
That's that is so powerful.
Yeah.
Extra credit on Instagram is, I think people over the pandemic got really good at this. Instagram Live, I was a little nervous about doing that at first, but once you get used to it, like, it's pretty fun and easy to do Instagram Live with someone else. I think you can do it with more than 2 people now, 4 people maybe. IGTV, all your videos from your events, try posting a few of those on your feed, and it will be saved to your IGTV. So I just think, like, just try some of these new things. And I didn't put Reels in here, but
Right.
I mean, Reels are Instagram's answer to TikTok. We are really digging into Reels at Party Slate. We're asking people, like our premium members, send us videos. We'll put them on Reels. I think we have to speak that language. I know I'm on the older side, but like, Reels are highly engaged with. There's a lot of reach. So I would just say, don't rule out, Reels. And again, I don't want to overwhelm people, but I'm just trying to say, like, the people that don't do this, the other people are going to get ahead. They're going to get more attention. So.
And you don't have to, like you said, you don't have to do it all. Like,
You don't.
They're consistent, maybe you just do
Yeah.
Reels every other week, or
Yeah.
We started doing Instagram takeovers with our members for Santa Barbara wedding, and some people don't do the Reels, but we'll do it for them, and they get huge visibility. People love that. IG Lives, huge, just all you have to do is dedicate 15 minutes. So just block a little bit of time and be consistent in what you do.
Yeah, I think the hardest part is starting, because I can speak from experience. I'm not a real person, a Reels person, not a real person, REELS yet. And I think just, thank God I have a social media team, but just starting with, like, I'm going to do one a month, or I'm going to try this, I think is important, because we have so much professionally created content with videos, and even doing live Reels when you're setting up an event. Like, I think there's a lot of things we can do that are not hard. You don't have to be a professional video editor to do a Reel. But the last area of your digital footprint is really thinking about your network. And it's not like there's this new thing, on a digital network. It's an extension of your real world network, and you can build your network. I talked about even commenting and sharing and things like that, and shout outs and crediting. That is a way to build your network. We believe our biggest differentiator is this network effect, that when you credit on your profile page, you show up on the other person's page, so credited by, Daniel Events. That is you really did work together in real life, and now it's being extended. So I have one last section on a little bit about Party Slate, but I would first like to stop and see if there's any questions on the 5 areas of the digital footprint. I think the most important thing is to create an action plan, and I'm almost assess, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how am I doing in these 5 areas, and just prioritize one thing a month or one thing a quarter that you're going to do. Then the tension level will go down. And then also, don't be shy. Get in a mentor group, someone that can hold you accountable. I think it's great that you're giving back to the industry and being a mentor. Get white glove service from Party Slate. Get help.
Yes.
It's hard. Get help. And you're busier than ever. Like, I'm hearing people like, oh my God, I can't staff up. Get help for, and use your dollars the best you can, but get some help, because you will be left behind if you don't.
Yeah, it's an investment. And, there are such great writers out there. So, like you were saying, even, the bullet pointing and trying to tell your story. What's the option? You don't blog at all? No,
Yeah.
invest some money and get someone once a month. What can you afford? 6 times a year is better than nothing, right?
Yes.
And I think the biggest key, Julie, is really getting organized. So, even if you find a mentor to get you organized, to get these platforms started.
Yeah.
So I love your idea of, having all the vendors so that you don't miss anyone and
Yeah.
whenever it's published, all that kind of stuff. That is the most daunting. But honestly, once that's done, it is so much easier on the back end to do
Yeah.
it consistently and be effective. And that's the biggest secret, right?
Yeah,
Consistency.
photo organization goes along with credit organization, and I have a whole webinar, and I feel very strongly about this on how to organize your Dropboxes or Google Drive, whatever you use, how to create an index in like Google Sheets with almost a table of contents of every event you've done, where the link to the Dropbox is, if it's posted other places, a link to the credits. We just have to get organized. Otherwise, you can't be a great content marketer. And so I think that's another important piece of the puzzle that I like to talk about.
Yeah, 100%. And again, we deal with a lot of creatives, so that's not in their nature to do that.
It's not.
That's where you can find some help. You can
Yeah.
definitely find a techie nerd,
Yeah.
intern type.
Although planners are 50-50. You have your creative planners that are more design focused, and then you have your type A planners that their drop boxes are more organized than ours. So there's half. But I would say if I look at the whole industry, I would say 80% are not fully organized when it comes to their digital assets. And it's not that hard to do once you have a system. And I feel strongly it doesn't matter what system it is, but it's a system so that, let's say an intern starts, you have a system, not like it's all in my head. I love it when people say that it's all in my head where everything is. That's just not scalable, all in your head. It's just not.
Right, exactly. Automation, personalization, you got to get it started, set the foundation. I should make that a song. They all rhymed.
Yeah, I like it.
And just be consistent. Just do it. Just start. Just do
Yeah.
one thing. It's not going to be perfect. I remember
No.
my first reels was just about my dog. Who cares at this point?
I had my first reel was my son buried in the sand and coming out, so it's just like, just try it,
Yeah.
It wasn't
That is
pretty.
perfect. Yeah, done's better than perfect to
Yeah.
get started out there.
That's what my co-founder always says, done is better than perfect. That's really true for tech companies. You got to ship it, you get feedback, you get, user feedback, and you improve over time. And I think, I know my friend Akeshi, who's a great event designer here in Chicago, always says, fear stops us from doing a lot of things. And so fear that the post will not be received well, fear that you have a typo. Trust me, I have typos all the time. I go and correct them. People tell me I'm not the best writer in the world. I've gotten better, but don't let fear stop you from doing something. Even if you get one like, get the content out there, create a schedule. You can do this.
And the beauty of digital is that it's not permanent. So if
No.
a post doesn't do well, you can archive it, you can hide it, you can look at the data, and you can, implement more of what does get good visibility. It's not forever. That's the beauty of it, right? So
I agree too. And like we were very nervous, and I'm sure you felt the same way. So many things happened over the last year with the pandemic and with so many, politically charged events. Like, we felt that it was important to create content. And so when we posted a big event, we were very clear that we were fond memories of XYZ before the pandemic. Like, there's a way you can still create and post great content, even during the most crazy time over this last year. And if you're not creating content and you're not staying relevant, you're going to be forgotten. Not to be dramatic, but you will be. So I just have 2 more slides and I'm going to finish up. As far as digital marketing on best practices, we believe your photos and your videos are marketing gold. The profile we created is to leverage your marketing gold without hiring an expensive developer, an easy way to share your photos and videos and your network. Number 2, we want to capture people high in the funnel with great SEO strong keywords. So wedding aisles and arches, we have a whole SEO optimized page. Pinterest still, of course, beats us on many terms, but more and more we're getting, 50th birthday party ideas, people that are high in the funnel. They're looking for ideas before they pick their venue, before they pick their caterer, they're coming to Party Slate. And then the last thing I already talked about is this network effect of, you can be listed on the most popular venues that, in Santa Barbara or in Chicago that you've worked with by crediting those people that you've worked with. Then you show up as a resource. If they're not yet on Party Slate, we don't have full, penetration. I'll be honest, in Santa Barbara, we'd like to get more. We will invite them to create a free profile. And so that's something that, we will do on our side. And then the last thing is, I just talked about this, but my 3-step plan, and you can create a 1-page document to kind of prioritize is get your photo act together. You must have a system to organize your photos. We both agree on that. Number 2, take a look at your website and do a quick SEO assessment. How do you show up? What does your organic traffic look like? A lot of people, they don't need a full redesign. I sometimes people are like, I need to start over. Sometimes it's just adding some more white space, cleaning up your navigation, choosing some more photos that better represent your work. You may not need like a tear down the house and start over again. And I think that's really important. Sometimes it could be 2 weeks of a facelift that could get you where you want to go. I recommend doing free research, which is ask 3 friends that you don't work with, take a look at your website, mobile and desktop, and give you honest feedback. What do you do? How to contact you? Those people will be honest with you. That's like cheap research to do. And then finally, create a plan for your social media and platforms. So what are your top 2 social? What are your top 2, 3 third-party platforms? And don't do everything overnight. Do like 1 new thing a month, or 1 new thing a quarter.
Yeah, exactly. And, like you said, fear is what keeps people from moving forward. Sometimes it's the overwhelm. It's either one or the other.
Or you're frozen. You're frozen. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and stuck. So take action. I love the easy 3 action steps that you can take. Don't try to do it all.
I'll send this presentation to you, so anyone that would like it can have it. But I know through your mentoring and all the people you're working with, it is real that there's going to be people that are they're overwhelmed now, but with this tidal wave of events coming, I just really want to encourage people to put at least an hour a month or something to invest in your digital footprint. I think that's very important.
Yep, 100%. Well, I didn't get any questions, but Julie's email is right here at the bottom, julie@partyslate.com, and then you can go directly to partyslate.com. She has a team who literally, the white glove service, you guys, it's exactly what this industry needs, because we either don't have the bandwidth, don't have the time, don't have the knowledge, or just really don't want to do it, right? So invest, because the future is now. We don't have time. It's here. The boom we've been waiting for is here.
I'm just so happy for this industry, and I know there's going to be some challenges ahead on execution, right? On 4 weddings in 1 weekend and everything. But this industry is, often the people on the sidelines creating all this happiness and all these celebrations. And I think the satisfaction that we're going to get after this year of being apart is going to be so incredibly rewarding for all of us. So I'm happy we're back, guys.
Yeah, 100%. As am I. So. Perfect, Miss Julie. Well, thank you. Anything else
No, you can just go, again, partyslate.com/pro is where you can learn about how to create a free profile, or if you want additional help or exposure. And of course, our Instagram, like I said before, we're always sharing the best work of both, free content that's posted, but also premium members. And we just want to keep inspiring people and help the industry get back on its feet, and help these people that, again, it is stressful. You forget planning these parties is stressful as a host. And if we can help make it a little bit easier, that's very rewarding.
That's what we do. We have an amazing industry that I love so much. So
Me too.
Good. Well, thank you, everyone. So appreciate it. Thanks, Julie. Good to see you again.
You too, as always. And I hope to see you in person, maybe. Catersaurus, are you going?
Is it Miami, right? August?
Miami. I'll be there. July.
Yeah. I said yes. August, but my brain knew it was July.
Well, hopefully we'll see each other, and I can't wait to see each other in person.
Sounds good. Take care, everyone. Ciao for now.